So, I've been in the real estate industry for a few years, and I've always wanted to share my own experience so that maybe when a new agent will find it useful, especially when it comes to selling higher end properties that are above $5 million. So I give you the first one that I did, which was actually a shop house. I did a few landed and many more shop houses later, but this is how I got into the above 5 million range, and that's why ERA gave me the plush badge to say that I regularly transact properties above $5 million. So here goes, this is my story, the first one. So one of my friends has a friend who he used to go to school with, who owned and is also a landlord and does business in shop houses. So he has maybe 2 or 3 shop houses, but I did not know him that well. So I asked my friend to introduce me to his friend. So that was the first step, to become a friend to someone who is in the business. And then what I did was I started meeting up with him more often, having coffee, just talking about things in general. But I made my case very clear that I want to be in the shop house space, where hopefully I can sell a shop house or help someone to buy a shop house. So that was the pitch. So it took about maybe 2 months, got to know him better, got to know the family and all that. So I was also helping him with his residential piece as well. Now what happened was, one day in Arab Street when we were having coffee, one of his friends who owns one shop house, so he's owned it for the longest time, he actually had a few agents trying to sell it at a price, but we all knew that he's not a serious seller. He was just looking for a price, and then he usually his goalposts will go up, so nobody's able to buy the shop. So I asked this man, would you allow me to list your property for the price that you want? And he said, okay, fine, go ahead. So I was one of the agents listing his property in Arab Street. Now, about that time when I started listing, I had buyers who were calling me. And I had about few buyers who were in my text system who were calling me about properties in Arab Street or Chinatown and so on. So one day, while I was having coffee, my friend said the neighboring shop was sold the day before for $7 million. So I knew the address, I knew the price it was sold. It was sold yesterday, so not caveated, so nobody knew. Only a small group of people knew, the owners knew. So at night, I texted those buyers who were calling me for shop houses, and I said, hey, did you know that this address was sold yesterday at this price? I have other units, would you be willing to come have a view and maybe buy? So one of them asked me a very specific question and said, around this budget range, do you have anything? So I did not have anything. So by that time, I already made friends with 1 or 2 senior agents in the area in Kampung Glam. And so I called my agent and I said, my friend agent, right? And I said, hey, do you have anything? I have a buyer, serious buyer. And he happened to have something. It was a corner unit, been in the family for the longest time, family wants to exit. So within a day, we made a viewing, and I knew some things about shop houses, prices, and so on, but the buyer knew a lot more than me. Right? The buyer came to view, he knows about structure, conservation, and so on. So he knew everything. So I just kept my mouth shut, showed him the property, and he immediately gave me an offer. And then I went back to my Kubo agent, I gave the offer, we negotiated a while, and within 3 days, I sold my first shop house, and that was $6.3 million. So that was my first big one. So that's my journey selling my first shop house. After that, I went on to sell a few more. The buyer actually had a few more in Chinatown. I helped also to sell 2 more in the next few months, and the journey moved on. Right? So this is just my experience. I hope that there's some learning there for someone. And if you want to know more about high-end property and landed properties, high-end condominiums, how do you get into the space as a new agent? I'm always happy to share. But the learning for me was a hard work, follow up, be on the ground, talk to people, ask for the business, and the business will come. So good luck. That was my journey.